Hello everyone, welcome to Yadnya Investment Academy. Today we are going to do a mutual fund review. Let me first explain the methodology of the review. We will first list and review the fund on various parameters and rate each parameter by green, yellow or red star. Green star means good performance, yellow star means average performance and red star means below average performance. In the end, based on the total number of green, yellow and red star, you can take a call to buy this fund or not. Please remember all the fund parameters we are going to discuss here are based on 10th May 2017 data as reference, and we only review regular and growth plans of mutual funds. In this video we are going to review fund name SBI Magnum Midcap Fund, which is a midcap fund launched in 2005. Before going into review, let's understand about fund's objectives. Fund invests primarily in equity stocks and is ideal fund for long-term capital appreciation. It invests majorly in mid-cap companies in India. Now let's start the detailed review on each parameter. First, the fund belongs to SBI Mutual Fund family, which is currently India's fifth biggest fund house in terms of asset under management out of more than 40 fund houses, and was established in 1988. So for being a very large and experienced fund house, we give a green star here. Midcap fund was launched in March 2005. This means it is active for more than 10 years now. So for being a relatively old and experienced fund, which has seen all major market ups and downs, we give it a green star here too. Fund is categorized in mid-cap category. There is no fixed definition of mid-cap, but mostly they are considered as companies between market cap of rupees 5,000 to rupees 20,000 crores. Now moving to next, this fund has a large asset under management of around 3,700 crores and ranks 10th biggest mid-cap fund among a population of more than 30 based on value research categorization. So this high asset under management speaks volume about fund's consistent performance and investors' trust in funds management. Hence deserves a green star here too. Now let's talk about the returns. We will first talk about the trailing returns from 10th May date and then talk about the calendar returns. In trailing returns, we can see the fund has beaten its benchmark index, that is Nifty Mid and Small Cap 400, as well as mid cap category average across 3 years and 5 years trailing returns. 10-year trailing returns are above benchmark but below category average. Last 1 year returns are much below both category average and benchmark, but should be ignored, as for mid cap category we should only focus on long term returns. So trailing return performance shows a decent show in medium term, and especially 5-year trailing return is very good and is among top 3 in the category. But below average 10-year trailing return performance shows some performance concerns. Now looking at calendarized return of last 10 years, that is from 2007 to 2016, which means returns from 1st Jan to 31st December of a calendar year, we can see two clear divide in the performance. Performance before 2012 is close to category average, but from 2012 is exceptional. There have been 2 instances when fund was beaten both by benchmark and category average, that is in 2008 and 10. And great performing years are 2012, 13, 14 and 15, all recent years. In bad markets of 2008 and 11, the fund couldn't manage fall so well. So what changed from 2012? The fund manager changed, and we will discuss about that in just a bit. Now looking at this, overall fund's calendar year performance is good, as they have beaten both benchmark and category average 6 times out of 10, and 5 out of these 6 years are last 5 years, that is 2012 to 2016. So this exceptional recent years performance, which we can see in their calendar year returns as well as their 5-year trailing returns, but below average performance during bear markets of 2008 and 11, and average 10-year trailing returns makes us give this fund 1 green and 1 yellow star on this parameter. Next important parameter is fund manager. The fund is managed by Ms. Sohini Andani since July 2010. Sohini is BCom and CA. She is working with SBI since 2007. The fund's performance has seen an inflection point since Sohini's joining, and we would also want to mention leadership change with Mr. Navneet Munot joining as CIO and Srinivasan joining as Head of Equity in 2009, which paved the path for better processes and turning around the fund house performance. Ms. Sohini also manages SBI Blue Chip Fund since 2010, which as name suggests is a large cap fund and has asset under management of more than 13,000 crores. It is a low risk and high return large cap fund with exceptional fund performances in last few years. Even for this fund, the performance has seen marked improvement since Sohini's joining. Looking at Ms. Sohini's stability with the fund house and change in fund's performance since her joining, we give this parameter a green star. Next parameter is top stock holdings of the fund and understanding the fund's diversification. As on 10th May, fund has 57 stocks in portfolio with top 5 contributing close to 18%. Current debt or cash allocation is at around 9% and rest is in equity. Fund has pretty good diversification in portfolio and weightage of top 5 companies is little higher than our mid cap benchmark of 15%, and hence we give this parameter a yellow star. Next parameter is sector diversification. Top 3 sector contributes to close to 45%, with financial sector leading the share with only approximately 17% and hence deserves a green star. Next are expenses. Expense ratio of this fund is 2.04%, which is one of the lowest in the category and is much better than average expense ratio of this category, that is around 2.47%. Exit load of the fund is 1% if investment is redeemed in first 365 days of investment, which is what most mid caps do. So overall, due to very good expense ratio, we give this parameter a green star. Now those who like numbers, let's discuss few important ratios too. Standard deviation, a measure of volatility and risk, is lower than benchmark and category, which means it takes lower risk than them. Beta 2 is a measure of risk and is also lower than the category. Alpha, which measures the risk adjusted returns. So 16.6 alpha means it can perform 16.6% better than the benchmark. So amazingly, even by taking lower risk, it has better alpha than the category. So this means this fund is a low risk and high return profile fund. Last is P ratio of the fund, which is 30.1 and much lower than benchmark's PE of 53.8, which is probably due to lesser exposure of the fund to small caps than the category and having some large caps too. So the fund is clearly a low risk and high return fund with good PE, therefore deserves a green star. Few other important info to note about the fund is that it is one of the most focused mid cap and small cap fund with one of the lowest percentage of allocation to large caps. It has 66% investment in mid caps, 29% in small caps and only 4% in large caps. And this table here shows how rupees 10,000 SIP would have performed in various time frames and prove very good performance and great returns this fund has given continuously. So if we calculate, we got total 8 green stars and only 2 yellow stars, and not able to manage market falls very well being the only concerning factor. To summarize, SBI Magnum Midcap Fund is a focused midcap and small cap fund which has a low risk and high return profile. Fund has a very low exposure to large caps and is fully focused to mid and small cap space. Most of the large caps that form a part of the portfolio are actually mid caps that have grown in size. After a very average performance until 2011, this fund has managed to beat its benchmark and category by convincing margins in each of the last 5 years. Fortune changed with new fund management team and new fund manager, Ms. Sohini Andani, who is an experienced portfolio manager. Ms. Sohini is an astute stock picker and doesn't go too overweight on any sector or stock compared to benchmark. Fund's 5-year performances are among the best. in last 5 years, fund has surely set up itself as a consistent performer led by an experienced and disciplined management team. Despite this, we would like to see the process remains stable for a long period of time. But if you are looking for a pure place mid cap and small cap fund with lower risk as peers, this is definitely one of a good choice. That is all we have on this fund review. If you have any question, please do write in the comment section below and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a great time ahead.